Leone, gotta let me show ya. Nigeria, Untitled Island, Liberia, I wanna know ya. Cameroon, Guinea-Bissau, Sierra Leone, gotta let me show ya. Nigeria, Untitled Island, Liberia, I wanna know ya.
Hey everybody, what's up? Good evening. I'm back. Hello and welcome to African Ancestry Live. I'm Gina Page, president and co-founder of AfricanAncestry.com. We are the pioneers of genetic ancestry tracing for Black people all around this whole wide world. And our mission is to help Black folks transform the way we view ourselves and the way we view Africa. And we do that through DNA. We're the only company that can use your DNA to tell you the present day African country and ethnic group that you share ancestry with. And I've been gone away in West Africa, and I missed you guys. I'm so glad to be back. Hey, Plachette, Menelik is here. Fancy, Monique, Joseph, my favorite Facebook name, Our Cafe Cubano Keys. Hello, everybody. I'm rocking tonight solo, so you guys are going to have to bear with me. I'm going to try and be Gina and Wendi at the same time. Thank you so much for the greetings. My trips were fantastic. We were in Sierra Leone with the group of 30 folks who got their citizenship. Hopefully you all were following the journey on social media. Then I went to Ghana to the ADDI trade conference. You guys remember when we had Ambassador Arakana Chiambori Kwao on. She had a huge trade conference in Cape Coast in Ghana, and so I was there. And then I went to Dakar, Senegal, because we're cooking up another family reunion for you guys in Dakar. So I had a wonderful time, brushed up on my French. Joseph Evans, I'm so glad you found your tribe too. Congratulations and welcome to the family. Mike Jackson, Nanachka, I hope I said your name right. Michael Friend in the house. Taisha, Eddie Meeks, Judge Eddie Meeks. If you guys are in North Carolina, I'm gonna mess the county up, but Eddie Meeks is running for a judgeship and you all have to vote for him. Hey, Zenobia, nice to see you. Glenda. Woo, Monique, you got to come with us when we go to Dakar. That trip is going to be incredible. Absolutely incredible. So I need to take care of some housekeeping. Wendi set me up to make sure I told you guys all these things. So I want to make sure that I ask you guys to like your African Ancestry Live. Please share it. Spread the word so people know what we're talking about. And you can subscribe. You can click the button below to subscribe and join us so that you'll get reminders of our upcoming shows. And if you want to watch any of the past episodes of African Ancestry Live, you can see them on our YouTube channel. So you can go to our YouTube channel. We're African Ancestry DNA on YouTube, and there's a whole playlist of all of the spectacular shows. And we've been having some powerhouse guests. I really was kind of upset that I missed our past guests, but Wendi held it down for us while I was away. Tonight we have I got a mask to give away. Hold on. Got stuff to give away for y'all. So our giveaway today is a face mask, and I think Plachette, have you won before? It's either Plachette or Monique. It would be Plachette or Monique. So Plachette, let me know if you won before. The first time winner to come on Facebook Live at 7 o'clock or YouTube Live at 7 o'clock wins the gift of the evening. And so this one belongs to either Plachette or Monique. Maybe I'll send one to both of y'all. Thank you. Somebody, shout out to Latrice at, what is her website? Get System Support. GetSystemSupport.com. She gave me these earrings. Yes, Wendi is an excellent host. I might not have to. Maybe we'll split the shows, and she could do some of them. I want to let you guys know about joining the African Ancestry community. So one of the things that can happen when you get once you become a member of the African Ancestry family is you get access on Facebook to the African Ancestry online community. Now it's a private group and it's exclusive. So it's only for people who've taken the test. So if you go to Facebook and you try and join our group, you're not going to get in unless you have your test taker name, your kid ID number, and you answer the membership questions. So I know some of you all get anxious. You're like, I've been waiting to get let in. But if you don't answer the questions, it's going to take longer for Ty, who's our community manager, to figure out and let you in. So we ask that you give us about 3 to 5 days to get you approved. And customer service requests the AAOC is not the place for customer service requests. So take heed to that information, and you can go to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click the subscribe button. Tonight, we have another guest, and you guys have met her before. Shout out to Avanti in the house. Mary Smith, good to see you too. Glad to see you. Oh my God, Joseph was talking about my father. Yes, my father was in full effect. He was one of the 30 people, but his ancestry, our ancestry, is not Sierra Leonean, but you couldn't have told him that. He was having a full experience with our people in Sierra Leone. And speaking of Sierra Leone family reunion and family reunion members, our guest tonight, you guys have seen her on here before when we had our recap show back probably in May. I think we did that show. It's Chazelle Muhammad-Neain. And she's the founder of the African Link Initiative, which we fondly call Ali. And it's an evidence-based identity development program. That's a mouthful. An evidence-based. So it's for real. She's not just talking. Evidence-based identity development program, transforming how youth of African descent see and experience their world, by first transforming how they see and experience themselves and the continent of Africa. Does that sound familiar? She's helping young folks transform the way they see themselves and the way they see Africa. She operationalizes proven and promising links between social and emotional learning, culturally responsive pedagogy, identity development, and improved life outcomes for Black youth. She's doing some serious work, y'all. She does all that in an 8-month, 3-part program that culminates in a birthright trip to Ghana. So I want you guys to give a very, 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 very warm welcome. I want some Sierra Leonean flags. I want some flowers. I want all kinds of things for my girl, Chazelle Muhammad. Chazelle. How are you?
Hey, Dr. Gina.
It's so good to see you.
You too. It's so excited. I have been watching your journey across West Africa in the last few weeks and just cheering for you and like, go girl.
You know, things in Sierra Leone just didn't quite feel the same without you there, though, Chazelle. We'll talk about that later, but you were like the centerpiece of our trip at times in Sierra Leone. So, and I haven't seen you since then, so it's very nice to see your face and hear your voice. I'm giving you a virtual hug and squeeze. So listen, look at all these hearts and flags. Thank you, everybody. Shout out to Sharice, my girl Sharice Kimbrough in Evanston, Illinois. Kim Wright, Glenda Joseph. Thank you all so much for being here. So Chazelle, that was a mouthful talking about Ali. I mean, I just wanted to say she hooks these kids up. She's teaching them about who they are, where they come from, and then takes them there. That's my bio for Ali. But tell the people, how did you get started? Like, what made you even decide to take on such a lofty task?
You know, Dr. Gina, the first thing was my own disillusion in how lofty and how huge it would be. Because when I have a goal, I don't see that is going to be a lot of work. I just see this is what I need to do. This is how I can make it happen. And I go. And I kind of find out along the way, like, dang, this is a bit more than I expected. But I'm so grateful for folks along the way who immediately understood what I was trying to do and how it could be helpful and have supported our mission and our journey from the very beginning. People like you and folks at the Boys and Girls Club and United Way and some of my mentors who immediately was like, I see it. Let me help you bring it to fruition. So Ali, we take the kids back in order to propel them forward. And what I mean by that is, you may have heard the saying before by the late Reverend Dr. Joseph Lowry that says, if you don't know where you come from, it is hard to understand where you are and even more difficult to see where you're going. And that really, Dr. G, was the epitome of my struggle as a teenager. And I was determined that it would not be my struggle as an adult, not knowing where I came from and seeing how that disconnectedness to the appreciation and the value and the depth and the beauty and the history of my Blackness caused me some challenges. That disconnection, you know, was I African? Was I American? What did that even mean? So I did a lot of research. I did a lot of data gathering. I did a lot of, for over a year, I scoped this program out. And then I went on my own birthright trip. I spent 6 weeks in Kenya and Ghana. And when I was in Ghana, just after New Year's Day on 2020 is when I got my African ancestry results.
You got them while you were in Ghana?
Yes. Oh my gosh. And I was there, I was traveling alone. So I was in my hotel room going, who do I tell? Who do I tell? When I on the balcony, I was just like, the sun was beaming because it's hot as hot in Ghana. The sun was beaming and I was just like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That's all I knew to do. And I called my mom. I was like, Mom, guess what? We're Wendi. We're from Sierra Leone. And we don't take no stuff because our ancestors didn't take no stuff. So
wow.
So I came back. Thank you. I came back and I finished scoping out Ali. And then I started talking to partners like Boys and Girls Club saying, hey, do you want to give this a pilot and see if we can get this going? And we did a pilot of the Boys and Girls Club. What we also did is we were approved by the TED organization. So we're also a TED program. So our kids, we taught them how to do public speaking and presentation, and 5 of them did TED Talks a couple of weeks ago.
So wait, tell me about that. So obviously, since it's COVID, you didn't meet with the kids in person, but how does the program actually work? Like, who are these? How old are the kids? How do they come together? How do you choose them? How do they come together?
The kids are nominated. They're nominated by parents or community supporters or principals, vice principals. They're nominated to our program to be a scholar in our next cohort. So they go on our website, africanlink.org, and it's African like the country Africa, or like people African. There's no K in it. I think the graphic had a K.
Yeah.
Africanlink.org, and they click nominate a scholar. And the application process is that the team will fill out an application. It's for teens between 8th grade and 12th grade. We are also opening a cohort of college students. So our college cohorts, our college Black HBCUs, and our Black organizations at all colleges reach out if you're interested in starting a cohort for Ali. And so our kids apply, they go to an interview process, and a panel of judges selects each student to go into our program. And because of COVID, we were 100% virtual from January through May. But then in September, we started meeting in person when we started doing our TED Talks. So we actually got from September to November in person. It was wonderful.
So one of the things I know that your kids do is they take an African ancestry test. And I had the pleasure of giving them a presentation about African ancestry, and they got their results. And what was it like for the kids? Like when you said, this is what we're going to do, we're going to take this test to find out where you're from. How did they engage with that? Were they excited? Were they hesitant? Did they understand?
They understood and they were excited. One student in particular was hesitant, and it was our youngest student. And he's like, "What do they do with my DNA?" I said, "I'm so glad you asked that question." And I said, "They don't keep, sell, share, or research your DNA. It is destroyed at the lab after the analysis is done. They've never kept, they don't." Really? I said, "Yes." So then I told the story. You know, I'm a huge African ancestry advocate. And I told the story about Black owned, Black geneticists, Black scientists, Black employees. And I said, they're the Blackity Black show. There's no one better. That's how I do. That's my bio for African ancestry.
Right.
Yeah. So part one of our program is 3 parts. The first part is, where do I come from? And that first part is our partnership with you, African Ancestry, and our kids took their DNA tests. And then we planned a family reunion, like the old school family reunion, except it was online and we didn't have a fish fry on the first night, like typical.
No fish fry. What's up with that?
Virtual fish fry, but we played games. We played Black Card Revoked, and we had a ball. We was hooting and hollering on there, and 99 people showed up. Like, we were just blown away. And many of them were for the African Ancestry family. And they were just cheering for our kids. Yeah, I'm from Cameroon as well. And for Sierra Leone, big up, big up, big up. And the energy was just so enriching and fulfilling. And the kids were just lifted up. It was just a magical evening. And that energy sustained them through the program. They continually talked about it and researched their ancestry. It was incredible. It was incredible.
Wow. You know, I really strongly believe that the kids are the way to go. You know, I believe the children are our future, Chazelle. Teach them well and let them lead the way. No, but you know, if we can teach them, then we can catch them before the stereotypes begin.
Yes.
And we can, African kids and Black kids in the diaspora, we can just cut the stereotypes off at the knees. And then they're walking through their life with so much more of a foundation. You know, they're not going to be swayed in the same ways by the effects of misinformation and miseducation. So I really applaud you. Now, you also use some IKG curriculum in your program, right?
I do. We are so thrilled and blessed to be one of the licensed curriculum providers for IKG for our first cohort. Anthony Browder, big shout out to Anthony Browder, Atlantis Browder, Miss Deborah Watkins, and the whole entire team. I tell you, I'm not in the business of recreating the wheel or trying to be an expert in what I'm not an expert in. I stay in my lane and I bring in the experts to do what they do best. So we were so fortunate. And you introduced us. I think my first conversation I had with you, we were just talking through what I was thinking about for Ali. And you said, "You know Anthony Browder?" And I said, "No." I said, shamefully, I didn't know. But I educated myself and I reached out, and they had this curriculum called Cultural Imperative Program, or CIP. It is a phenomenal curriculum that has been a part of a longitudinal study that showed that students who were participated in this particular curriculum had, among other things, increased GPA. And so we're able to show the data now on the effects of instilling Black culture in Black children. And that's children from the diaspora, from the African diaspora, whether you identify as African American or Black or African Latina or whatever, however you identify, talking about youth from the diaspora. And it was amazingly powerful. It was like the practical application of sorting through centuries of African history. So we used his book. Part of the curriculum is his book, From the Browder File, 22 essays that Anthony Browder wrote. And it was so powerful the way the curriculum connected with those essays. And his daughter, Atlantis Browder, she wrote the curriculum. It's phenomenal, just phenomenal. So it really brought the ideas home for our kids.
Now, one might think that after all the stuff that kids had to do online with school, and then, you know, wanting to spend their time chatting with their friends or playing video games, that it would be hard to get them to then come and focus on this. how did you capture and keep their attention? What do you think kept them engaged?
You know, I think it was the power of the content. They had never been given an opportunity to find out these missing identity pieces, as you say, to the identity puzzle. And I think they right away connected, because this program isn't for everybody. Not everyone wants to know where they're from, and that's okay. But these particular students and the students this program is designed for, they want to know, and it's important to them. So the first thing was their own interest. They were own self-motivated to understand where they came from. And then what we did was we just had fun. I can be on the silly side. So we sang, we wrote rhymes and raps, and it was just fun. But when kids are laughing, they're learning. So we did some unconventional things to help them stay engaged. And talking about being online for school all day, they were. And we met on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so twice a week for 2.5 hours each time. So that's 5 hours a week extra online that these kids dedicated for 4 months, was it? And it was just phenomenal. And I just applaud them. And then on top of it, we had a paid internship that we offered. So interns are online getting coached an additional 1 hour every week. So it was a big commitment, but they did it and they wanted to do it. And then TED Talks came. That was 4 hours a week. That's a lot of time, but they did it and they were driven and they did a phenomenal job. So I can't say anything special I did. It was them.
Your kids are going to get that learning. So P Black 3 wants to know, how much pushback or resistance did you get from parents, if any?
P Black, that's a good question. The only resistance I got from parents was a single question about DNA. And I answered that right up front. Other than that, the parents, they immediately understood the 3 parts of the program. Where do I come from? Where am I now? Meaning, what skills do I need to be successful in my current everyday life, where I am right now in 9th, 10th, 11th, or 12th, or 8th grade? And then what do I need to propel my life forward? What kind of skills do I need? What kind of mindset, what kind of habit set do I need? Parents immediately understood the goal. They understood the evidence behind why we structured our program the way we did. And I got no pushback after I answered that single question.
Dang,
they were excited.
Why we have to be the question? But you addressed it off the break, and so that's really cool. Shout out to Plachette, who says meeting them on their own level and rising them up. That's exactly what she does. Exactly what she does. So you were doing Ali, you're teaching the kids, but you had your own special experience in Sierra Leone. And we just came back from Sierra Leone. Shout out to my father, Jerome Page. He's on here. And I just kept remembering what the experience was like for the first time. And one of the memories that has been memorialized in a photograph is you at Bunce Island, where you had your arms outstretched and you were just in your moment. And I wonder if you could talk about what was going through your mind. If you could give us some context for where you were and what you were feeling at that moment.
Wow. Where I was at that moment, I was standing on the jetty on Bunce Island, the jetty, which would have been the place where our ancestors would have been, not all of them, but many were taken from. And I just became present to the fact that this is the same jetty that was there 400 years ago. It's not different. It's the same rocks that were there. So I just had to take my shoes off. I had to connect with the texture and the feel and the warmth, the age of the rocks. It just felt so very spiritual to me. And the energy, I should have started there. The energy was palpable. The energy of, it's almost like I could feel power and I could also feel sorrow at the same time. And I attributed that to the struggle and the journey of my ancestors that happened on these rocks. And I thought about how many ancestors may have shed blood on these rocks, shed tears on these rocks, cried and begged on these rocks. And I get to stand here voluntarily, and I get to go wherever I want to from these rocks. And I came from where I came from to get to these rocks. And that feeling was just being grateful to all these things, the opportunity to make it back. And I'm so grateful for my female ancestor who survived all she survived so that I could be in that very spot. And did she know I'd ever come back?
Mm.
What was she thinking? What was she feeling when she was taken or stolen? Did she know that anyone from her future ancestry or progeny would ever make it back? And I'm like, I'm here, mama. I'm here. I'm back. And I made it back for you. And I made it back for the ones that's coming after me, because we back and we not letting this go. And I was just so overwhelmed with the gratitude that it was me. You know, it wasn't my children. It wasn't my mom. It wasn't the prior generation. It was me physically given that opportunity. So I became present to, wow, to whom much is given, much is expected. I said, okay, I've been given a lot. Lord, what you want me to do with it? And that's what I was going through and feeling at that moment.
You mentioned your kids. So how has the rest of your family reacted to the knowledge of your entire, their maternal lineage as well?
We're all thrilled and excited. When I came back from Sierra Leone, I brought money. So I'm like, look, our cousin is on money. Singabepe. So I'm like, that's our cousin. That's our Mende cousin. And this was his story. This is his journey. And his journey is memorialized not only in Sierra Leone from his contributions there, but also in the US from his contributions here. So I said, like, how, and also in Cuba. And I've been to Cuba 3 times, and I was like, I could live in Cuba. So I'm like, that energy is calling me home, and I didn't know why until I knew. So it's like my children and my family are just so happy because it wasn't on their radar before I did it.
Mm.
Well, they're like, glad you did do it. Now that answers a lot of questions for us. That explains this, that explains that. My great aunt, who, if you remember, she passed away while we were in Sierra Leone.
Yes.
Yeah, my great aunt, Aunt Coot. She passed away. And when I had told her, I said, Aunt Coot, we're Mende from Sierra Leone, and this is our story. She said, oh. And my aunt, I want to say she was 88 years old, and she was not in the best of health. She had MS for many, many years. She said, oh, baby, that explains a lot. That's why I don't take no beep. And I said, Auntie, that's the same thing I said when I found out. Because Singabepe didn't take no crap. We can't take it. It's in our blood. So we just laughed, and it was really a bonding experience. Like, we call each other Singabepe when we get out of line and all that kind of stuff.
That's hilarious. Inside jokes. Now, I have a question for you. There's someone named Dahlia who's in the green room. Is she with you?
Oh, Dahlia, yeah. Dahlia is part of our advisory board, and she is a huge proponent and advocate and just a champion and a cheerleader for Ali.
So, Dahlia, do you want to come in the conversation? Give me a thumbs up if you. I can't see your thumb, Dahlia. Do you want
Dahlia's?
Just put a thumbs up if you want to come in. Oh, she can't hear. Maybe she can't hear me. Okay.
I hear sure. I saw sure.
Okay. Dahlia.
Dahlia.
Hi.
Hey.
How are you all?
Good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Welcome to African Ancestry Live.
Thank you.
So you are a board member, an Ali board member.
Yes.
Have you taken an African ancestry test?
No, I have not yet. And that is coming.
Okay.
Originally, a cousin of mine did ancestry.com.
Mm-hmm.
And so, of course, a little bit of it, but I didn't know the full extent. So my journey started with just figuring out, on my mother's side, we're Caribbean. And we kind of have known what those were. Not everything, but on my father's side, I didn't know anything and had to find out about him and a brother that I had that I never met. And so my journey began about a year before Chazelle contacted me in terms of my genetic history.
Okay. And so what drew you to Ali, and how are you feeling about now that we've gone through one cycle?
Well, actually, I think I've always been in diversity. I'm a diversity and inclusion practitioner.
Okay.
And I have always, always been someone who fought, cried, and screamed for our place at the table. And that's how Chazelle and I met at a company that we both worked at. And I came in as a D&I consultant. But it seemed the right path for me to go on, because starting my PhD, it was an emphasis in diversity and inclusion, and my dissertation is about the failure of diversity and inclusion, which sounds like total opposite of what I do, but it's not. And so when Chazelle called me and started talking to me about it, I think you only had like 5 minutes into it, and I said, I'm in, because you kind of follow your heart about what to do for us, and beginning to learn to listen to my ancestors, because I do believe they talk to me, and they've been talking through me throughout this whole journey of learning what it means to be a Black woman here in America, and finding our power, and just how huge it is, and what an impact it has on the world. Mm-hmm. And it is really, truly up to us, this generation, this here right now, to change the narrative of how we are viewed for our children. One of the things I told the children was that I hope at some point there will never, ever be a need for what I do anymore, because you all will be assured and have the knowledge and the support of us and the ancestors after us.
Well, I want to just take a little turn here for just a slight pivot, because I'm really curious, as someone who has a career in diversity and inclusion, how do you feel that knowing specifically where you're from in Africa, or how can you envision knowing specifically where you're from in Africa, can have a positive impact in the workplace?
Well, everything has a circle. Our lives are a circle, just like our parents, they're part of our circle. And when you don't have that, when it's broken, when you don't know your outer circle of your ancestry, you're incomplete. And we are a people worldwide that are incomplete. And believe it or not, even for the people in Africa, because their children were taken away. Their future generations were taken away. So that circle is broken. And a lot of the issues that we face as a community is because we do not have that circle. And we always say it takes a village. We don't have a full village because we don't know the history of our village. Mm-hmm. And we need that for us to be able to navigate in a world such as it is. We need that. I think if everybody has always seen within the past 10 years, as children are supported and encouraged, we have begun to excel to the point where it is almost unbelievable. We're only taking our rightful place where we're supposed to be. And so we're giving our children the tools of a full village by doing this.
Okay.
I want to add something to that, Dr. G. You mentioned earlier about changing the narrative, and I say that our kids need to change the narrative. The young people of today literally have saving the world on their shoulders, saving the world. And we say, change the narrative. If you don't like the stereotypes, if you don't like the stories being told about who Black people are and what they aren't, and we're not a monolith, change the narrative. Okay, that's marching orders. But do they know what the true narrative really is?
Exactly.
What are they going to change the narrative to? If they don't know the true narrative, they're just going to change it to a different narrative that they received in this country, or from the indoctrination, or from the same set of misinformation, bad facts, basically. Mm-hmm. So to educate them first, to empower them to share the true story. And another thing is, we talk about all this great access that we're getting now. We have seats at the table. There are more Black people in corporate America. in corporate boards, so on and so forth. We're on that trend. But I want to suggest this. If a person has a hole in their foundation, they have a weakened foundation, and that being the lack of knowledge of who they are, that strength of who I am, which helps you from being dissuaded, helps you from being influenced, you can be more of a leader. If they don't have that, sometimes that's going to be what you need in corporate America. Corporate America will chew you up and spit you out. Will eat you alive if you don't have a sense of self and can stand on your own 2 feet when all these different influences come your way. So that's part of us being successful long term, is having a foundational identity of who we are, and that everyone comes from a place and a people that deserve to be talked about and known about. And until we appreciate that for ourselves, how can we possibly feel like we are whole and able to have the highest success that we can have? I don't understand that.
Absolutely.
I think maybe we can end the interview here because you have just dropped the mic. I know that's right. I know that's right. Wow. Everybody, I'm Gina Page. I'm the president and co-founder of AfricanAncestry.com, and I'm joined by Chazelle Muhammad-Neain, who is the founder of the African Link Initiative, and Dahlia, who is an Ali board member. And we're chatting it up about the importance of young people, of children, knowing where they're from and how that will prepare them for life's events. And it's the same argument for us as adults, quite honestly. It's just, if we do it. So that's the benefit actually of an African ancestry test, right, Chazelle? If your child does it, then the child has done it for everybody in the family.
Exactly.
And so the adults don't, the mother doesn't have to do it. Or if it's a paternal line, the father doesn't have to do it. The aunts and uncles don't have to do it. The grandparent doesn't have to do it because the child has done it. And that, I think that's another aspect of your program, is that the family is involved, even though it's the kids who are doing the work. When I came on and did the presentation, the parents were right there front and center.
Oh yeah, everyone was very involved. And one of the parents said to me, and she says, you know, this is so big. It's bigger than what we may think. She said, it reminds me of a verse in the Bible. She says, and it talks about, and a child shall lead them. And I said, ooh. She said, because the baby in our family, the youngest person currently in our family, has brought us this information that we have not known for centuries. No adult taught us this. The baby, the youngest in our family, is leading us to this new understanding. And I was just like, whoa, that's deep. So this is a bonding experience across generations of families, because it's like reminding us that we of our village. We can think back to our ancestors, and it reminds us of our local villages that are the result of, we stand on the backs and the shoulders of our ancestors, and we can't forget them because they don't forget us. They are praying for us. They have prayed for us in their lives. Like we pray for our future, they pray for their future, and we are their future. So make that connection and know that we come from power and grace and intelligence and innovation. We invented STEM. Like, come on, y'all.
Exactly.
You know, we are mathematicians. We are scientists. We are astrologists. Come on, y'all. Math is Black. Like, children say, oh, I don't like math. Math is Black. Math is African.
Black. Science is Black.
Let us
You
reconnect.
can see it's evident today. I mean, our first woman cured cancer. There's actually a cure for cancer. They're a Black woman. The pandemic, a Black woman. You know, and it's not to take away from Black men, because they are just there just as much. It's just been a little bit easier for us to get in that door. So I don't want anybody to think that I'm kind of leaning on one side to the other, because I'm not.
Although we're down for girl power here, Dahlia. It's okay. It's okay if you want to dig up.
But I will say this: it was young Black boys who passed the SAT almost perfect score. So our mathematicians are there, our scientists are there. We have to provide them with the support and the foundation to continue to succeed, because it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy to change the narrative. But after a while, you won't have to think about changing the narrative, because you are the new narrative.
That's power. That's power. Yeah.
One of the things that I'm reminded of, Chazelle, as we're talking, is when you got your name during the Mende naming ceremony. We have a video, and in case you guys haven't seen the video, you can go to AfricanAncestry.com/watch. I'm going to put the link in here and see the short documentary we did on the African Ancestry Family Reunion. But there's a scene in there where you got your name.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it's representative of lineage and power. Can you talk about what name you were given and how you react to that?
Wow, Dr. G. It was so powerful because the name I was given was Manu, Manu, Mbome, Mbome. And Manu, the meaning of Manu is someone that forgives, someone that is often forgiving and forgives, and that's their spirit or their character. And what was so moving to me was that when I was a kid, my name was Nunu. And my mother and my grandmother would always tell me, "You're too nice. You got to toughen up. You're too nice. You let people walk all over you." I was like, "Okay, I'll try to be tougher." But I couldn't. I was just such a softie. And, someone would do something. I'd be like, "Okay, I forgive you. We're friends again." I couldn't be mad. Like, I could never hold a grudge. So when I heard the name and I heard the meaning of it, and I just said, "Oh," it just struck me because when I was a kid, I asked God to help me be harder, to help me not be such a softie, because I felt like I was being taken advantage of. And my mother told me, people are going to walk all over you. You got to toughen up. And it didn't work. He didn't give me the spirit to hold a grudge. He didn't give me the ability to stay angry long. He didn't give me that. And when I heard that name and the characteristic was someone who often forgives, I was just like, oh, that is God. That is a message and a sign from God that it's okay to forgive often. It's okay. It's all right. It doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you, insecure. It doesn't make you foolish to forgive and give people the benefit of the doubt. So that was really beautiful.
I remember too when they said what that name meant. All of us who were the African Ancestry family, we were all like, ooh, like there was this kind of chatter, like, that's the perfect name. And we had only known you for what, maybe a week. We were like, oh, that is exactly who she is. So I'm glad you shared that, because I want people to understand that we're not making this up. We cannot make this up. These are real life experiences with real life people are having based on their DNA, based on having used their DNA to reconnect to a specific group of people in a specific present day country. We're not concerned with percentages. We're not concerned with regions of Africa. We're not concerned with how much of this you have and how much of that you have. We're focusing in on a mother's line going back 500 to 2,000 years.
Yes.
And the DNA has memory, as people like Isaiah Washington say. And that is exactly what you're experiencing when you're standing on Bunce Island. It's exactly what you experience when you receive that Mende name, Manu. All of those things are part of this continuum that was broken.
Yes.
It was intentionally broken, intentionally disconnected, but we don't have to stay broken. Just like Dahlia said, we can complete the circle. And I'm proud to know you and to have met you.
Thank you.
Well, before the trip, but to have met you in person, and of the work that you're doing with the African Link Initiative. Everybody listen, if you have children, this is a national program, right? Because is it national? Let me not say.
Yes, it is national.
It's a national program.
Yes.
And so if you have young people who are in the 8th to 12th grade who you believe can benefit from this program, go to AfricanLink.org right now and check out the program. If you're not if you're not an internet user, go to @African Link Initiative on IG and check out the work that they're doing. We have to support programs like this. Y'all know how we do at African Ancestry. When somebody comes through with a book, we buy the book. When somebody comes through with a product, we get the product. Well, somebody is coming through with education. So what y'all gonna do? Y'all gonna get the education? You're gonna give the education? I want to see in the comments what y'all gonna do with this information. How are we gonna support Sister Chazelle and the work that she's doing to educate our kids? I want to see in the comments what you all are planning to do. Leslie says, maybe it's time I get tested from African Ancestry. I've been contemplating. What do you all think? Is it time for Leslie to get an African Ancestry test? I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to let y'all speak. You say yes, Chazelle?
2 thumbs up. It's never one of the parents.
Exactly. We got to spread and share the information so that everybody knows there's no excuses. You can no longer
very
say,
important.
I don't know where to get this information. My kids, I don't know where they can learn this kind of stuff. I don't know it right here. They can learn.
It's very important to get your children involved. And this is not something that should be taken lightly. It really is something that you should get your children involved. And not only that, have conversations with them along the journey. Because it is a journey. And it is just as much a journey for the parents, the aunts, the uncles, grandparents, as it is for the child.
Yeah, don't underestimate the power of knowing. If you don't do anything else, if you don't go visit the country, that's something else. But don't underestimate the power of knowing where your lineage comes from prior to being enslaved. Like, just think about that. If you don't find out, then your story from what you know begin with enslavement. And that's not fair. That's not right. And that's not what we want our children to walk with as the perception of their reality or the perception of where they come from. The other thing is that we have to remember that our identity was purposely taken from us. But at the same time, God had a bigger plan because we've been walking around with the answer in our veins all this time. So that which was attempted to be stolen from us, God said, don't worry about that. I got you. And when it's time, I'm gonna give it all back to you. You just have to be willing. So you have the opportunity to undo what was done to your family. Now, maybe we won't get the address of where our ancestors lived on the continent. Okay, fine. But to know that you have brethren and sisters who look like you, who smile like you. When I went to Sierra Leone, I was like, oh, those are my mother's cheekbones. It was a feeling that I can't put a price on. I can't put a price on, to know that that was the land that my ancestors wanted me to have. And now I got it. Like, it's powerful, y'all. And having options. Having options. That green book is powerful. That green book. And there may be a time in the future where we as folks who were born in this country or from the African diaspora want an option outside of the US, or want an option outside of Europe, or want an option outside of wherever it is that we currently are. An option to really go home and know where that is and what that looks like is powerful. Thank you, Dr. G and team, for this phenomenal science and for making this a reality for us.
Shout out to my team. Jasmine Musgrave is on. She's one of the newest members of the African Ancestry team. Lisa says, you are so right. It has changed me in ways that I could never have imagined. But most of all, I put this up earlier. Leslie said, I will. Thank you. So we convinced Leslie to take the test. Thank you, everybody. We convinced Leslie to do it. I am Nalia. She wants to take the test and she's got to get her funds together. And I wanted to say, first of all, about that, this is a family project. So you don't have to necessarily carry the entire burden. Lots of families are pitching in. They're passing the hat. It's the holidays. People ask you what you want, or they couldn't get the gift because they didn't order it in time and we got supply chain issues and all this. Pass the hat. Everybody give me $20. 10 people give you $20. You're halfway there. No, you're 2/3 of the way there.
Yeah, 3/4 of the way there.
And we've been offering specials throughout the holiday season. So I am Nylia. I want to encourage you that their other family members will share these results. If you have siblings on your mother's side, if you have cousins, aunts, uncles, all of those people will share the results. And so perhaps they'll go in with you to get a test kit. Everybody, I appreciate you all for joining us tonight. Like I said at the beginning, I missed you so much. I don't know if I missed one Wednesday or 2 Wednesdays. It feels like it was forever. Shout out to Yakota Strong, who was holding it down in Sierra Leone. And I'm just happy to be, yes, Cherie says there's power in knowing. Jomo says, I've completely embraced my Mende roots. Oh, yeah, thank you, Montreal. We also have a firm. We offer a firm. And so you can get an African ancestry test for as little as $27 a month through the Affirm payment plan, which is available to you on AfricanAncestry.com. So again, we've done our part to try and help everybody be able to get results. Teddy has a very important question. Well, it got cut off. It looks like it got cut off, but Teddy wants to know, how accurate is this? It's extremely accurate, Teddy. We have the largest database of African lineages in the world. We have over 33,000 African lineages from all of the countries that contributed to the transatlantic slave trade for a total, plus more, for a total of 35 countries. We have over 400 ethnic groups. And so when we're doing comparisons to find your ancestry, we're comparing it to more DNA than any other company, more African DNA than any other company out there. Ancestry, 23andMe, they may have 2,000 African lineages, African samples in their database. We have over 33,000. So that lends itself to the accuracy that African ancestry testing provides. Let's see. Tawana's waiting for her kit to be delivered. I Am Vault. Listen, the family is in here. Thank you for your support. I Am Vault says they're gift certificates. I'm so excited. I'm not even thinking about all the ways you can do this. Lisa Lewis says, my brother had to take the paternal. How can I qualify for Sierra Leone? I think you mean citizenship, Lisa. And so the country of Sierra Leone offers citizenship to people who have taken a DNA test that shows that they have maternal or paternal ancestry in Sierra Leone. So that's how you can qualify. Yeah, shout out to look, this is my backup team right here. That's right. Very more accurate than the rest. Anyway, I'm excited. Listen, thank you, Chazelle, for being here. It's almost the holiday. Well, we're in the holiday season, and I know people have a lot of demands on their time. And so I appreciate you for being here. Dahlia, thank you for joining us. You were, it was nice to have you as our guest. And I want to encourage everybody that there's a lot going on at African Ancestry. If you aren't on our mailing list, I am on that. Okay, good. I need you to be like Dahlia and join the mailing list so that you can keep abreast of what's going on. You can see who our guests are going to be. You can see when we have specials. You can get information about our products and what we offer. You can see what's coming up. We got some really cool. We got something big.
I love the gift shop.
We got something really big in February. I can't wait to be able to tell you all that. So join our email list. We also have a quiz. So if you're curious about where you think you might be from, we have a really fun quiz on our site that will let you answer some questions and then tell you which ethnic group you may be connected to. Of course, this is not based on genetics. This is just a that disclaimer. And then, like I said, we have past episodes of our African Ancestry Lives on our YouTube channel. And so let me just take a breath. You want to say something, Chazelle?
I was going to ask you, can we share our code?
Yes.
Okay. So we have Ali 2022 is our discount code. You can use that and save 5% off your tests. the African Ancestry website. And it also gives us, as our foundation, our nonprofit, a small donation as well. But you get to save 5%. And it's Ali, ALI 2022.
Perfect. Perfect. Everybody, listen. I'm looking at all these people. Steady Rock says, I have my shirt, my journal, and my certificate. Sierra Leone, send me.
You just need citizenship now.
Exactly. We'll see you on the next trip. We're going back to Sierra Leone in April, Steady Rock. So perhaps you can join us. And then I was going to say this, Smith Mar. Listen, I don't even have to say stuff because you guys already know. Smith Mar says I ordered certificates for my kids, mom, sister, and aunt in honor of her late grandmother. It's a perfect gift.
Beautiful.
It's the perfect gift. Once you've taken the test, only one person had to do it, and now she can share it through certificates. So
one of my favorite gifts from African Ancestry is t-shirts. Everybody loves a t-shirt. So the Ancestry t-shirts, you can get those for family members. So those of you who, like me, our family hasn't had a family reunion in a few years because of COVID, but we had a virtual family reunion with our kids. So what would that be like to have your family have all shirts on from your ethnic tribe that you traced, and like y'all get together and talk about what that means and what that looks like and what was your ancestors like based, and then kind of think, what are we like now? What are our traditions, and do they match any of our ancestors? So that might be a good bonding experience over the holidays if you're virtual with your family. Just a suggestion.
Mm-hmm. That's a great suggestion. Jomo, you got to come with us in April. You are welcome. Monique Brewer says, I have my cert, pendant, and shirts. I just need that Senegal trip. Girl, we're working on it. You will be one of the first to know. I will make sure of that. All right, everybody. So that's what we got for tonight. Y'all got me so hyped up. It's almost 8 o'clock. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. We are still in a pandemic. It seems like things are probably ramping back up. I'm going to go back to my usual spiel. Please continue to wear your mask.
Mm-hmm.
Please continue to social distance. Please continue to support your immune system. And please continue to support your mental health and that of those you love. We've made it this far. There's so many who didn't make it with us, but we've made it this far. And so let's stay safe. Let's stay vigilant, do our part so that we can continue to do the work like Chazelle and Dahlia are doing. Thank you again for joining me. Happy holidays to everyone. Next week, I'm making Wendi proud, y'all. Making Wendi proud. Next week, it's not going to be just me. I'm going to have so many people from the team. You'll get to see Jasmine. You'll get to see Deshawn. You'll get to see Simone again. You'll get to see Rolando. You'll get to see Wendi. We have an Ujima list. So we're celebrating Kwanzaa by sharing our favorite Black-owned businesses with you all next week. So please subscribe. Please set a reminder. Make sure that you can join us next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern for the Ujima list. Until we meet again, everybody, may you be happy, may you be healthy, and may you be whole. Have a very good night, everyone. Take care.
Good night.